Hello, Alberto from Dreamdata here, and today I'm going to show you how you can easily build a dashboard in Dreamdata to combine multiple metrics and insights to show marketing impact in a unified way, for example, for your CMO. So let's actually build a CMO dashboard. But first of all, Dreamdata will combine all your go-to-market data, channel, sources, and touchpoint, and tie that back to revenue in a unified data model that then you can leverage to do reporting on top. And so the Analytics Hub is the place where you're actually going to find all your reports and dashboards. And before we start creating a CMO dashboard, we actually have to create the underlying reports. So here in the report section, you will be able to select one of the templates that we have pre-built here in the template gallery, or you can decide to just build a report completely from scratch. And one thing that your CMO might be interested in seeing is how did marketing performed in influencing and actually sourcing the new business that you generated over the last 12 months, for example. And so for that, we're going to use a stage attribution report. So I'm going to open up the report here, and you're going to see that the some of the metrics are already pre-populated within this template. And then on the left side here, I will have the configurator that I can use to define and change the time frame, for example, to what I actually want to include in the report. So first of all, we mentioned we want to look at the new business that we generated over the last 12 months. And in terms of metrics, I want to see how much of the new business is attributed to, how many new business deals are attributed to marketing, what is the value of those, the total new business we generated and the total value, as well as the share of the new business that is attributed to marketing. And here I can actually apply the channels to only look at the marketing channels to see what is the attribution that we're giving, that we're seeing for specific marketing channels. So for example, I can select paid social, organic. Let me actually go ahead and select all the marketing channels. And I can apply the filters here. And as you can see here, you have multiple filters logics as well. And you can actually be much more granular in your analysis if you want to filter for example, specific campaigns. But then Dreamdata here will also enable you to add some segmentation layers. And here I want to add a channel level segmentation and a source level segmentation. As you can see that you can apply two for each report. And then I can use a data-driven model in this case, and all this attribution models will be out of the box in the tool. Now, let's say I apply this to my report. Now, what I'm seeing here at the top are the metrics that I selected, and specifically, you can see that we can look at how much of the new business in terms of value and the number of deals is directly attributed to marketing channels against the total new business deals and the total value, and actually the percentage that is attributed to marketing. And then you can see here that I can always double click on the deals specifically, so I can have the list of those accounts and those deals that we're considering in this report. And this not only enables you to look at what are the actual deals that are getting attributed to marketing, but also you can increase trust when sharing these numbers internally as well. And just a couple of examples on the metrics that and the reports that we'll give you here. For example, here you'll be able to see what are the top channels by attributed new business. But let's say I want to see this from a value point of view. I can easily switch the metric here, and I can have an overview of what is the value that each channel is generating specifically. And then below here, I will have a table to include all the breakdown by channel and source that we added in the configurator. And I can see how each channel and source specifically is getting attribution in terms of the new business that we generated, both from a number of deals and the value, and then the share specifically. So you can have this channel and source comparison. And again, you can double click on each number that you see here. Then let's say I'm going to save this report, and I'm going to call it marketing attribution or marketing impact on new biz last 12 months. And the new biz stage right now, it's what we have in the demo account, but your stages will be fully mapped and customized according to your definitions that you might have in your CRM. So if you want to report at the pipeline creation level, SQL, SQA, whatever definition you might have, we're going to fully customize those to match your own. definitions. And so let's say I save this report. I will always find them ready here in the Analytics Hub. So this is the one that we just built. But let's actually go ahead and create another one. Your CMO might also be interested in see what is the performance of the ads where we invested our dollars over the last 12 months. And so we will have dedicated reports for that, specifically here in the paid advertisement category. And let's say we want to focus specifically on LinkedIn. I'm going to open up that report. Again, some of the metrics will be already pre-populated, but here in the configurator, I can select the ones that I'm actually interested in. And so let's say I look at again, I expand this to the last 12 months, and I'm interested in seeing the cost, but I actually don't want to see the metrics here from the ad platforms. And I want to focus specifically on influenced MQL, attributed MQL, and then the ROI for MQL. And then I want to do the same for SQLs. And I actually want to do the same for new business as well. So right now we're including multiple stages of your funnel. And then, as I mentioned, these will be fully customized to your own definitions. Now you can see that the template is also pre-applying a filter for LinkedIn specifically, and that it's also doing a segmentation by campaign. So we're taking a step granular into our analysis and actually doing this by campaign. And as I said, we have all the attribution model pre-built in here that you can select and use. So let me run this with the new metrics that I'm interested in. And then similar to what you saw in the previous report, I will have the top metrics here on the top. I can switch the things around. I can have the ROI next to the cost. And again, I can double click on the numbers to actually see that I have the right accounts and deals showing up in here. And then this report specifically will give you below here the top 10 campaigns by cost, but let's say I want to see the top campaigns by ROI, so the ones that are performing the best. I can easily switch the metric on the report, and this will change the graph here. And then below here, we will have the breakdown for the segmentation that we decided. So by campaign, I can see how much I invested on each campaign, and then what is the impact at the different stages of the pipeline. So how many influence MQLs, the attributed SQL, the ROI, and then the same we're doing for any other stage of the pipeline. Again, these are just examples, and you can easily customize your stages, but also decide the metrics that are important for you. And so let's say we call this LinkedIn performance last 12 months. I can easily, again, save this report, give it a name and a description. And then I will find them in the Analytics Hub here. And I can also decide to just star some reports to have them ready here at the top. So they're already easy to access here at the top. But let's now build a dashboard from these reports. And here you can start building a dashboard completely from scratch. And let's say I want to call this CMO dashboard last 12 months. Now, what I can do, I can add a text widget, first of all, where I can describe the dashboard, or I can simply just say pipeline impact or new biz impact and add performance last 12 months. I can easily give it here a title, have it here at the top, and then I can start adding metrics from the reports that we just built. So when I open up here, I can select to add a report widget. You can see how all the reports that we created are going to be here. And then I can select a specific report and, for example, pull the attributed new business, the new business value, the share, and let's also bring the other ones. And then I can have the graph showing the top 10 channels and also all the metrics by channel. So the table that we looked at. And then I want to do the same to have also my LinkedIn performance there. So let's say I want to bring the cost, and I'm interested in bringing the influence new biz, attributed new biz, ROI. And then I can bring a chart with the cost over time and then all the metrics. And now you can see how the widgets populated the dashboard now. And for example, I can see how are like the top metrics here at the top, and I can always see where are those widgets pulling data from. So I can see the actual report. I can open it up and have it ready to investigate further. And then here you can always double click on the numbers, as I was mentioning for the reports. And now we're combining multiple widgets from different reports into one single view. And then, for example, here I have my LinkedIn data. I can actually add a text widget where I can say this is actually the LinkedIn performance. And let me give it a title here. And then with the graphs as well, you can decide to duplicate the graphs so you can have them side by side. And you can actually compare into one single view the cost versus the ROI on the side. So you can have the two graphs one next to the other. So you can see how is the cost trending over time versus the ROI that we're seeing over time. And so this gives you a very easy way to unify your reporting into one dashboard to be able to deliver it to management, or to just have multiple metrics easily accessible into one single view. So yeah, this is the process for dashboard creation. Of course, I can save this, give it a name and a description, and similarly to what we saw before, I can just spin it and have it here on top of the Analytics Hub. So it's very easy to access. So yeah, this is the process for dashboard building. And yeah, excited to see it in action.